Hello and welcome to another episode of the M Voices podcast. Today we will be talking about inclusion, but not the usual inclusion that your mind probably went to. We will be talking about meaningful youth inclusion. Inclusion that is participatory, inclusive, but also not tokenistic. I am Shirat and I will be your host for today. We are having Hilary, who is a youth advocate, seasoned youth advocate, very passionate about his work, and he will tell us about himself and what work he does.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Nwamanya Hilary, Tata Hana.
You just had to say it.
Tata Hana. And just like Shirat has said, I'm a youth advocate who's very passionate about young people. Not only young people to be there as young people, but to see young people that are meaningfully representing their needs, but also young people that know what they want. And they have all efforts done and made sure that, they want to achieve whatever they want. So I'm also a CCM youth representative. That is the country coordinating mechanism for the Global Fund. I represent the youth as well. So now I'm not only looking at young people, I'm looking at children, young people, adolescents, and the youth until the age of 35. So we are there representing you meaningfully. Discussing the hardest English, but we want to see that young people's needs are heard, but also they're prioritized into the government's priorities, and to see that at least young people are not forgotten. Yeah.
Okay. So we are talking meaningful youth inclusion and participation. What does that mean?
In my understanding, there is a defined definition of MIYP, but to break it down, when we talk about meaningful, inclusive, and youth participation, we mean the way it sounds. The meaning, before you actually ask me what is the meaning of MIYP, let us first define the meaning of, the word meaning itself. So when we talk about meaningful and inclusive and youth participation, we are talking about young people being available, but not only utilized as tools, but utilized as, people that, as not as beneficiaries, but young people that are brought in as partners.
Yeah.
Young people that are brought in as the challenge holders, but the problem holders, but also people that can solve their own challenges. People that have the technical know-how of understanding what they are going through, but also finding meaningful solutions to end these challenges. So when we talk about meaningful and inclusive youth participation, one, we are talking about the real meaning of meaning. Then we are talking about inclusion, not engagement, but we are talking about inclusion. And inclusion is a lot. It is broad. We are talking about bringing them on board, but also identifying the word youth as a broad thing, not only looking at a classified group of young people. We are talking about youth with different needs, youth from different backgrounds, youth from that have different challenges, youth that are geographically located differently. So when we are talking about inclusion, we are talking about bring them all, listen to them, hear what they have to say, but also let them draw recommendations and suggestions to their challenges so that, they create meaningful solutions. And when we talk about youth is also broad. I think when we were starting our advocacy, everyone was characterized as youth. And being brought into a room, it was something that was seen as, a privilege. These young people, what do they have to say?
Yeah.
But now we are talking about not only youth that you know in your head, but we are looking at a broader perspective. And when you look at the spectrum of youth, there are young people living with HIV, the young people that are survivors of TB. We have young people that are living with disabilities. We have young people in ghettos. We have young people that are are living in island places. So it is a lot. How do we bring all voices of young people into one room? And participation. Participation, it is not only being live in the room, seeing and recording names, registering, moving microphones, just, interacting and being used as a reference. Yeah. We are tired of being used as a reference. You see, when you are talking about young people and you see the room is full, it's full of young people. No, we are saying young people, yes, when they are invited into the room and you're presenting issues of young people, please let the young people be the majority of speakers.
Yes.
Not you being the majority of a speaker, because you're there to listen to their needs. And finally, sit together with them, draw the solutions they really want. So meaningful and inclusive youth participation, it is, I'll just say, it is a collective of all I've said, but to see that the outcome of whatever engagement they are included into yields high, but also benefits their needs.
Okay, so you've sort of touched on my next question, so I'd just like for us to get into it already. Oftentimes, very many people, we like throwing around the word meaningful, inclusive youth participation. Yeah. We are very inclusive when it comes to youth participation. Very many of us throw around those words, but we do not get the full meaning of what those words actually mean. Yeah. So what does it actually look like when it's real and not just performative?
Thanks for raising that question. Performative is when young people are collected in a room, taken pictures, given food, given transport refund, but actually not knowledgeable about the purpose and objective of the meeting. Mm-hmm. That is performative. The reality and the true meaning of meaningful inclusion of youth and participation is when, one, this young person is knowledgeable. Because there is no way I'm going to represent the voices of other people when the objectives is not clear. True. On my end, what am I going to say? Mm-hmm. Two, I should be in position to articulate issues. What am I going to talk about? Am I technically able to speak to different crowds of people? For example, if I met with the Prime Minister of the country and I really want to present, am I just going to talk about challenges? Mm-hmm. Munange, Prime Minister, we do not have money as young people. No, yeah. That's not what we want. We are saying that young people should be able to articulate the real needs of young people. And these needs should reflect the data we have as a country, but also where the data is not reflected, it is upon us as youth to enforce that these things are also prioritized, to maybe starting to have research around issues that are concerning young people, surveys, but also having articles. So we should be knowledgeable, we should be articulative as young people, then we should be confident to meet up any person in the place, regardless of their looks, regardless of the background. As I was evolving in the youth space, I'm a person now today. I do not have a lot of hair on my head, but if you saw me some time back, I don't think I was this kind of person, the gentle person. So, but it never limited me from speaking whatever I wanted to speak. However, there were a lot of voices that did not actually embrace the image vis-a-vis the voice I was presenting. So young people should be bold enough, regardless whether you've been called, whether people love you in that room, as long as you say what you have to say. I think we are talking about now meaningful inclusion. And then you should be, as a person who's representing young people in that room, be able to understand that the concerns of young people do not only stop on what you know, you should be able to know that there are concerns that are beyond what you know and what you're going through, and looking at things in an intersectional way. You should be having that intersectionality lens in you. You should be having that intersectionality brain within you, because when I'm talking about young people living with HIV, yes, I might be a person living with HIV, but we also have young people that are living with disabilities, that are born with disabilities. I might not articulate their issues very well. The best way is maybe to present, but also to bring in more young people that really have experience on such challenges to speak for themselves, so that the room is filled up with voices of young people. Then we should be demanding for accountability. It is not about saying what you want, but it is also about following up what they have committed to. If people are saying that, Hillary, we understand there is a lot of hunger in Karamoja, so what? You've articulated the issue, there is a lot of hunger in Karamoja, so what? What are you going to do if they are giving us commitment that, they are, as a country, we are having interventions to reduce, but also to end the hunger in Karamoja? Then I should be following up. I should be having these matrices in my head. I should be technically having this knowledge to monitor and evaluate this commitment. Yeah. So that when I meet you again, I'll tell you, ever since the other time and this time, I don't think you've set a foot in Karamoja to see that this hunger is reducing. So what do we do? So I should be able to demand for accountability, but also I should be accountable to the fellow young people as a youth representative. These people should be hearing from me. And they shouldn't demand. I should be going to them.
By default, yes.
By default. And working together with different agencies that really work with young people, that is a synergy that we can leverage on as young people, to see that at least when we want to capture needs of young people in schools, we go to UNSA. When we want to capture issues of young people or the youth at large, you have the National Youth Council. We want to capture issues of young people out of school, we have different programs that are working with them. Getting these documents together, realizing that, there is this and this and this, and harmonizing these documents so that we have a position paper that really speaks to that. So meaningful and inclusive youth participation will not be achieved if we only have numbers in the room, but we should also be having numbers that are able to present these issues. And this is something that we've been fighting for a long time, because when you remember days back then, we used to be called, and the best thing most of us could do is to say what we've been staged to say. They have told us, say this.
And we get coached through it.
We get coached through it. We are given a paper, we go present it, and they clap for us. We take the pictures, and everyone is like, oh, wow, well said, but this is not even my brain. Someone wrote it for me, I do not even understand it. At the end of the day, when someone is telling me, Hillary said this, I do not even recall that I said it, because I was just reading.
Yeah, but that makes a lot of sense, because sometimes even up to date, there's just those things that, they will call you, you all sit in the audience, then you will see a panel and you start asking, but where's the young people? Where's the young person? We are so many young people in the audience, over 40 of us, but there's none of us that can be on any single panel. So it is a funny situation that is so unfunny, because then if you say you are for the young people, you should be for the young people.
Yeah, automatically it should be for the young people, and it should be reflected through your actions, not words. There is no way we create accountability for words. Accountability is created for actions. When you say you have policies that really speak to young people, do they really know that these policies really exist into your organization? If you're saying you're a youth-led organization, are you sure 80 or 95% of that organization is youth-led? So the accountability shouldn't be in words. the accountability should be in actions. When you say, I keep in record, I notice, and then when I'm following up on the issue, I'm not looking for what the word meant. I'm looking for what the word did. Yes.
So when we speak of inclusion, when does inclusion get to a point where it's tokenism or manipulation?
Sorry to say, but I know most of them will get annoyed.
It is allowed.
One form of how you tell that inclusion is now tokenistic and it is manipulative. It is, first of all, having what we call the youth advisory boards.
But I thought they were effective.
Yeah, that is one way. Because unlike people who have grown up as, youth advocates, now we understand dynamics. But having a youth advisory board that is not performing, of what use is, because now in your structure you have a youth advisory board. It is a requirement. You have it. Yeah. But what is their purpose?
What's their role? Yes.
If they cannot even look through organizational reports, what am I going to advise? If I cannot even take a look in the organizational reports,
I don't know what's happening.
And you later call me for a board meeting to speak about what? I do not know the budget for the organization. Then at what time will I be able to support the advisory mandate that you've tasked me? So youth advisory boards are good in structure, but their mandate should shift from just being a group of young people to be ticked as a requirement of the organization, maybe by the donor, to being a performing youth advisory board. For example, when you look at what we did, sorry, I forgot to say that I'm a former vice president of the SRHR right now, Youth Advisory Committee. But you look at how it was formed. Before, we used to have youth advisory committees, and I think we are the third cohort of that committee. But this youth advisory committee was co-opted into activities. But not even, they would call you for planning, but they just tell you, we have this activity here. You plan for it. Yeah. But you do not know the genesis of this activity. But the happiness could come because you feel like,
you're being included.
Yeah, you've been included, and now you feel like you're part of the organization. But our bond with the technical people grew when we started asking for budgets through donors. And they were forced to give us a budget. I remember the first time we requested for this budget, they had refused. But we were also very strategic. We waited for the donors to be in the room. We presented, yes, we know this and this and this, but we feel like the Youth Advisory Committee also needs its own budget to hold its own activities. And the donor was, this is a great initiative. So how best do we contribute? But when you look at the plan, how it was, young people are just only co-opted into activities. This organization has this activity. When they talk about collaborators, organization, Ministry of Health, and young people, you get.
Yeah.
But we're a youth advisory committee of a program that is speaking for young people, but we do not have the rights. You get.
Yeah.
So I think one of the indicators that this meaningful and inclusive youth participation is just tokenistic and manipulative is to have a youth advisory board or committee that is not active and functional. 2, having a lot of young people working for actually doing your job. We have a lot of organizations that have a pool of young people. Yeah. But these young people are using their resources that they do not even have to go and present the needs of young people or the needs of the organization. For example, you get me, you've trained me, I've qualified, you've given me a certificate, and instead of giving me meaningful opportunities, you're telling me there is an activity, or we have a budget for this activity and this, but it is you planning for me, and the best thing you're doing is to give me transport of 20K, but you're sending me where? In a place where 20K is not even enough to reach me half of the journey.
Yeah.
And you expect me to go, pull it off, write for your report, then come back, and then later, if I do not follow what you've said, you let me off. You let me off the program. And
this one is hard. We can't choose this person anymore.
This person is big-headed.
Yeah.
They are no longer submissive to the organizations, and we fear this could be a bad tomato. So let us take it out
from the whole
basket,
group,
so that it does not structure. So such things. Yeah, much as young people are given opportunities, but as also young people should be weighing the weight of these opportunities. To what value do they add on me? If it is something that I am briefed on, voluntarily you'll go and do this and this and this, and please lower your expectations. I'll understand, but this shouldn't be on a daily. Not every day that I should be lowering my when do I raise my expectations? What is there for me besides giving me that practical experience? No. So having a pool of young people around you, specifically to do what you're supposed to do and your stuff, it is also something that is very tokenistic and manipulative. If young people are not given opportunities based on merit, it is also something. We have a lot of young people that are busy begging for opportunities. Please this and this, please this and this, please this. And the only condition there is, if you sleep with me, I'll give you I'll give you that opportunity. If you're able to maybe give me half
of what you're getting,
I'll give you that opportunity. So there is a lot. But also, if I am not included in the initiation of this activity, what is my use? Okay, you want me to come in as you want me to collaborate with you as an implementer. But an implementer, why do you want to brief me on the day?
On the day itself, yeah.
Why don't you brief me earlier, like 1 week, Hillary, we are planning with you, we are planning for this activity. Maybe we did not include in the planning and everything, but the execution, it's where we need you most. Yeah? And what is going to be my role? Am I going to be that young person that is seated on the registration table just to welcome visitors? And moreover, high-end technical visitors, the country diplomats and everything. And for me, what they are doing, I just need to smile, wave for them.
Or follow them with the registration.
With their registration. So it is a lot. There is a lot of, there are a lot of ways that we can say that this thing, it is not actually benefiting this young person, but it is benefiting the initiator of this program.
Yeah.
And these are organizations. Then organizations that do not give young people a chance to transition. If there is need for a position to be filled in an organization, and you've not given me a person or a young person that has been working for you with so much experience, but also for so many years, a person you well know that has these qualifications and everything, why don't you consider me first?
True.
Why do you first need to place an advert somewhere and then I start competing with other people? Where is the mentorship you've provided? Where is the trust in the mentorship you've provided? Where is the experience? Where do you want me to pour all this experience? If you
yourself
person,
can't take me.
You cannot actually take me. So do you indicate that I have not grown technically to the best the way you want me? Or it is your problem that you've not mentored me to be the person you really want to fill
that
the
position,
gap in that organization. So if we are only seen as young people, but not transitioning young people. I also feel like, it is a gap.
Yeah.
That is being manipulative. You only want me to die in the ox work. You don't want me to progress as a person. When do you ever recommend me for a job? When do you ever recommend me for a job?
Yeah.
When do you ever say, let us create this position? Now, like some organizations that have, offices of the youth country coordinators. Yeah. When do we ever have such things in organizations? But we have, when you look at, if we are able to maybe to check through the NGO bureau and everything, you'll find that there are a lot of youth-led organizations, those that have even capacity to hold money, maybe like 1 billion, but they are not technically adding on to these young people, apart from the experience they're just sharing with them. Okay, so we need to move from young people are given opportunities to young people are utilizing these opportunities.
Yes. Yeah. And they're actually seeing them through.
Yeah, and we are appreciating them.
Because I think we've also seen quite a number of young people who say, so where I work, I have this older supervisor. I do ABCD, they take credit. I do this, they take credit. This, and then you sit in a meeting and you're just there like a picture because you didn't do anything.
The report is yours.
You did contribute.
The activity is yours. You were in the field. You suffered. And someone is taking all your credit. But also when you come out to raise such concerns of, I think I should be appreciated more. The next thing is to sideline you.
Yeah. Then you won't be doing anything.
Because your voice does not matter. You need to be aware. That's what they always tell us. Respect elders. But respect goes both ways. It should be reciprocal. Yeah. You should reciprocate the respect. Is true. Yeah.
Have you ever felt like you were used to tick a box ever? And if that has happened to you before, what did you do?
I ticked the box.
What do you
I ticked the box.
What do you even mean you ticked the box? What do you mean you ticked the box?
If I was ever used to tick the box, yes, I ticked the box. Because I was used to tick the box. Yeah. And I didn't know whether to tick or not. But I ticked the box. But now, my experience with ticking boxes, I'm telling you, there was one time when I was Mr. Y Plus 2018, 2019. So there was that Philip Bongole Retire Memorial. So I had a Miss Y Plus, but this Miss Y Plus, maybe she had technical expertise more than I had. And they were saying that, this person is very good compared to how I was, because, I wasn't that very technical, and maybe I was just a carefree person.
Yeah.
And they needed someone that would deliver. So I saw it happening so many times. Every time they need to present something very technical, they call her. They don't call me. So I go demand for the opportunity. Young people need to be utilized. They tell me, you know what? Okay, tomorrow you're going to be on the panel. So on the panel, we reached the day of being on the panel. They write for me, they craft a very wonderful document with already set questions. And I have to read through. And mind you, they had given me that document in the morning. Giving me, the people that...
Yeah.
They gave me the document in the morning, so I did not...
You didn't even have time.
I didn't have time. So everything that they were busy telling me, it was, I was acting out of panic. So the time for the panel reaches, I sit with high-level people. So, how they do they make their introductions. We have a young person. I introduce my name with my sash.
With your sash. Very confident.
Very confident. So, that is the only time I defied ticking a box, but it led me to problems. So as we're busy talking, they asked me a question. I think it was about how Uganda and how the Ugandan government can actually prioritize the needs of young people. But when you look at the document they had given me,
the question wasn't there.
No, the way they wanted me to answer the question was to actually, you know how you'll be reading a position paper? You start by commending the government for the
Thank
good
you
things.
for this.
But I didn't have time to read through the entire document. So I thanked the government. I shot now to the challenges that weren't in the position paper. And now I started relating the challenges to the reality. That was the time where these MPs were crying for Simanya, they need tabs in parliament. Simanya being paid for data to access the tabs and everything. So I started telling them, instead of using these tabs, why don't you transfer the money to the health sector? The room caught fire. So young people were on my side. The organization was busy looking at me. Now this young person, we did not tell him to say all this. And now these civil society organizations were also on my side. This young person is speaking the truth. And for me, I thought I'd done great. Ma'am, trust me, until 5 years later, I'd never gone back to any panel. They never took me back to any panel.
Unpredictable human being.
So I realized that they wanted to use me to take the box, but just because I was defiant in a way, I didn't take the box, but it also cost me. So there are a lot of young people that go through such experiences, and because they want to keep the opportunities, they'll be forced to take the box because they do not know the meaning of their confidence, the meaning of their self-esteem, the meaning of their academics, that academic knowledge they have, their value in the society. I just going to be a young person forever? That's the question I always ask young people. You're talking about, I don't want to annoy this young person. I mean, I don't want to annoy these people. They might deny me opportunities. Are you going to forever be a young person? And when these opportunities fade away, what will you be doing? So you should be ready to transition as a young person, not be seen as a peer educator forever, but also not be seen as a young person that is growing through young people's structures forever, but also to transition to see that I can be a young person that can relate with adults, that can be in a networking environment of adults, and I'll get what I want, but I also form the kind of friendships I really want, to say that it may be, if this person does not grant me the opportunity, someone else who has appreciated me will give me this opportunity. So a lot of young people, when they're entering these spaces, are meant to tick the box for the organization's interest, but also with the narrative that they're also fronting their interests. Yet it is not the fact. You cannot front your interests as a young person, yet you do not even understand what you're doing. There's nothing like you're fronting your interests. You're killing your interests. Actually, you're sitting onto your interests. So when do you stand up to let these interests blossom into something that is very beautiful and can be added to your legacy as a young person? You
can't really thrive in an environment you don't even try in the first place to
We are
thrive
not roses that they thrive even in thrones. We are not. We are human beings with emotions. Yeah.
That's true. So when we're having this conversation, but if there is anyone in leadership right now that is watching this episode, that is listening in, what are the 3 main things they need to change immediately if they want to be more inclusive and have their young people intentionally, not tokenistically or manipulatively, but intentionally included and have them participate fully?
One is to understand that as a leader, much as you're a young person, you have people that you're leading, and they're young people. So your know of things is not their know of things. Sit down with them, understand them. Do not speak for them. just because you're saying I'm in the age bracket of young people. Let their needs drive your agenda. That's one. 2, read, understand these concepts. Yeah, there is a lot around MIYP. There are a lot of modules around MIYP. But sometimes you always want to look at the flower part only. The flower part. Why the flower part? When do you ever go into details of that flower part? That there is a sunshine. Those are factors that need to those are factors needed for inclusive MIYP to thrive. There is rain. There are bed bugs down here. There are cockroaches. There is a trunk.
There is a tree.
There is a tree. No. That picture there is set for you to draw reference. Understand it your own way, but also go into depth of understanding which of all these things mean in your eyes, but also in your environment. 3, there is no way you're going to represent young people if your character is also not changed. Yeah, a leader, we all know that leaders lead in different styles and lead in different ways, but your best defined leadership style should be accommodative, for all and with all, so that you people, because if I was an head of an organization, I'd use that to create a legacy on my name. Because at the end of the day, if young people are moving together with the organization, and not the organization moving with the young people, but young people moving with the organization, there is that trust, that community trust that, you people are speaking the same language. And you truly even next time when they are not seen in the room, they know that these people have really sent you. They have sent you. And whatever you're speaking, it is through their mind, through you. It is their mind through you that you're speaking for them. And these are things, maybe if next time they are able to meet someone without your presence, they can build the sustainability of your words. They can build on that sustainability. And that's how we need to move. Not just saying, I'm a high-level technical person in the organization. And I think now that what I think, it is always my problem. Why do you think? Yet you had time to go and consult. And with energy and with authority to speak for them. We should start having that affirmation within us. With authority, I'm saying that young people are, with authority, I know this and this and this and. But when you start saying I think, that means you're representing your own
thoughts. Yes.
You've not created time for these young people, so your character also needs to change. What you know in class is way different from what you
do practically
here in the reality. So let these young people also teach you how to represent them, not you teaching them how to represent themselves, but you should also learn how to represent them. And for organizations that have really done that, you see that even in their hard times, the products of their young people that went through their structures are surely still on the core principles of the organization. Yes. So as leaders, we should know we are not leading for ourselves. We are leading for the interests of our beneficiaries in the organizations, or for whatever niche we say is our niche. 2, as leaders, we should also be able to learn. It's not a one-way traffic that they should learn, but you should also learn. Then you should also build a character, but also make your young people, make your constituents move with the organization, not your organization moving with these young people. Yeah.
That makes sense, because sometimes you are in a meeting and you hear someone say, yeah, we had to specifically tell this ED, don't come, send a young person.
Send a young person.
Why do you show up in spaces
you know,
meant for young people just to produce what you want or say what you think, like you've said, because why are you thinking? Why are you not sure?
Why are you not sure? Yeah.
Because you have young people that can basically tell you this is what is happening and that is what is supposed to be done. So yeah, that does make a lot of sense. And I'd like to believe that for anyone in leadership or in a leadership position right now, these are things that you learn over time, but you should be open to learning them.
Sure.
In 5 years to come, if we are able to get meaningful, inclusive youth participation right as a country, what do you think that would look like?
In 5 years to come, let me first benchmark from the new parliamentarians, youth parliamentarians we already have, because this is the first year of the 5 years to come.
Yeah.
Their deliverables will be lessons to learn from on how best young people can represent themselves in such technical but also political spaces. That's one. So we need also to create an accountability tool, a scorecard for these youth parliamentarians that are there to see what are they fronting for the young people. For over time, we've had a lot of policies around young people that are not progressive. Will they get time to read through these bills and see how best they can table them to becoming progressive? That's one. Then two, the 70% you are talking about right now, the over 70% of young people or the youth in Uganda, in 5 years to come, it shall either decrease or it will have increased. So the outcomes when we increase from 70 to 80, will these young people be responsible to speak for themselves even after we've left the youth space? And when it decreases, what does it mean? Have we gone with the knowledge? Because there is decreasing in number, and instead of 70, now we're at 65. That 5% decline, and for us, the 70, already the 5% will have already grown to now transition to being adults. Shall we be the people to speak for them, or these people will be able to speak for themselves? But also, are we going to live live policies that really guide these young people on how best, so that they do not start assuming that these policies are not there. If they really want to do reviews, they need to do reviews, but also inputting, because generations change and they have different demands. But we need to make sure that these tools are there for them. They do not need to assume that they are the first people to fight for MIYP. We should live MIYP live as a concept, but also as a tool to guide these young people. And we need to have policies that speak for them. We need to have bills, but we also need to mentor a community that really speaks about MIYP. We don't want to sound disrespectful
or anything,
But when I tell you mukulu utasobya, just know that as a young person, I'm telling you whatever you're doing is wrong, and this is how
this should be done.
That's how it should be done.
Yes.
In my own lens. So how do you fit your knowledge into mine to say that at least you harmonize and take at least half of what I've said and half of what you've said to create the what we want. And then the number of young people into the leadership spaces, whether political, elective politics or not. But we need to see young people growing from LC1s. I don't know if I'll ever get time, but sometimes I be there looking at my chairperson who is 90 years old, and I'm like, can't I be the chairperson? But just because I know I do not have that spirit of elective politics, I just let it be. But for people that have the spirit of elective politics, you should be in the spaces, because change should start from the grassroots.
True.
For us at national level, we are speaking documents. We are speaking numbers, we are speaking budgets, we are doing what, These are reports, this is data that is generated. But if you're
Down
the
here,
grassroots,
yes.
you should be a contributor to this data that we're discussing on national level. So if we do not have young people there is no way we are going to capture all our needs. We shall be having stages where we are capturing our needs. This stage we missed it, and now because we've realized data, we need to go back. So we need to be in all positions as young people to see that at least we are not there for money, but we are there for passion. We are there to serve.
Okay.
Yeah.
That does make a lot of sense. And I'll just like to thank you for joining us today and sharing everything that you have shared with us. I really do hope for our listeners and whoever is watching out there, if you are in a leadership position that requires you to include young people, you are being very meaningful about it, in the literal sense of meaningful. And you are not just doing it for show or to tick off a box, because as young people, we deserve to be included meaningfully and not just be there as pictures or help with minor things in whatever you're doing, because we do have a purpose. And if you are for us, we'd like to believe that you would be working with us. Thank you for joining us today and have a lovely day.